D-Roy Cruz here, your life applications officer. Here are some more status quo concerns for you. Let me talk about black folks. Let me talk about black folks. First of all, can a black man talk about black folks? Or for him to talk about black folks, is he being an Uncle Tom or a racist? Is he painting himself white by being honest about black folks? Okay? If you talk about members of your family, whether it be your uncle having trouble with alcohol, or your dad ticking your mom off and he's never coming home on time, and he don't know how to cook, and he don't take mom's place when mom goes to work, but he expects mom to do all this for him, and you could complain about your family. And is that lawful? I mean, are you allowed to do that? Am I allowed to badmouth my brothers or sisters if they don't know how to love mom like I love mom? Am I allowed to badmouth my cousins if they got issues and they make the family tree look bad or something? I mean, am I allowed to do that? It's the same way when you claim that if I call if you claim that I'm black, or if I claim to be black, or if I claim to be African American, I have a right to criticize those that look like me. Do I? Do I? Do I have a right to criticize people that are supposedly my flesh and blood? Okay? Which anyone that's been keeping up with my channel knows that don't mean a hill of beans to me. Because once you become a Christian, that's your race, that's your culture, that's your politics, that's your gender, that's your everything. That's your sexuality, that's everything. Once you have met Jesus and decide to be his disciple and let him be your Lord. That's, your faith in Jesus is everything. It's your race, your culture, your politics, your education, part of it, half of it, most of it, Now, are black people free to be Americans? Are we free to only be black? Spiritually or politically? Are we only free to be black? Or are we free to also be Americans, or black Americans, or African Americans, however you want to put it? Are we free to do that? Are we free to only be black? And if you say yes to that, we're only free to be black, what does that mean? What kind of politics is that? What kind of religion is that? if we're only free to be black? You've made a rule of what black is. So what does that mean? I'm only allowed to be black. Okay? What does that mean? Yeah, you're only allowed to be black. You're not allowed to act like or do like anybody else. You gotta do it the black way. What does that mean? Am I allowed to listen to pop music? Am I allowed to vote something other? Am I allowed to vote Republican? Or does it have to be Democrat? If you say it has to be Democrat, when did the Democratic Party become the party for black people? How is that a fact? Are all black people gay? Do all black people practice abortion? Do all black people want free stuff? Or are they all into free government? So how does all black people have to be Democrat? How is there a law that all black people have to be Democrat? Do all black people have to accept every nation of the world coming into this country and trying to, and half of them trying to take over the U.S. because we went through slavery, so we don't care if America becomes 90% out of every 100 group of people Spanish speaking people or Arab, Indian speaking people. We accuse the white man of taking from the Indians and taking the slaves and bringing them over here. But we allow other nations to come in and try to bogart white people out of the way. Everything that they've worked so hard to build up, all their education and all their building and engineering, everything that they've built up, we after all these centuries, after all these years, we feel like we still feel like we have to stand up to these white people. I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't understand. Two wrongs don't make a right. 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 Where do we get our rules, our policies, our theologies from for the so-called black community? Where are we getting this? I've had the dumbest arguments. Donald Trump, I'm a racist for voting for Donald Trump. I'm supporting slavery. I'm I'm an Uncle Tom. I hate my own people. I hate myself because I voted for Donald Trump. That's the latest. That's the latest thing I've heard. But here's a dumber one. Rap music is black people's music. There's black men beating up on white boys out there for trying to rap. Because they want to be a rapper like their black neighbors. They want to rap. They want to be like Eminem. Okay? You know, you can easily get a black man to uh, call you a racist if you give him a job and you let the white folks at that job play their WDVE or whatever, classic rock, hard rock, country rock, whatever. Okay? And no rap music. They will call you a racist. They will they will raise up a uh, a strike, even, a fight against the faculty because these guys are in there, nodding their head, shaking their head to WDVE, or rock hits, 917, whatever, here in Pittsburgh. They'll actually get offended and say something to the faculty. And if you play some rap music, but you just throw a little rap song in there every now and then, but once they get their rite of passage to force you to listen to music where only a small percentage of the people that work there like that kind of music, which really isn't music, okay? It might be music today, it wasn't back when it first came out. Today, you got these artists who they're rapping to a beat, they're rapping to some guitars and keyboards and you know what I'm saying? And then you got singing in there too. It's like you got some guy or girl singing, like Kanye West and Drake. You know what I mean? You got the singing plus the rap going on. You know what I mean? You got just as much singing as you do rap. We've evolved again. But when I was in the 80s, it's like if you listen to rap music, that was your new thing. And, and as time went on, it was like, this is our thing. Because we black. Okay? You know what I'm saying? We rap because we black. But wait a minute. I remember when it first came out. Rap music started in my lifetime. And there's something about singing in the choir, translating that to the group, to the solo singing, that made me never to feel that rap music was a utopia that black people wanted to go to musically. I never felt that way. I felt like, okay, rap music, they got that little rap thing going on, you know what I'm saying? And people are getting into it. I didn't know it was going to be a black thing. So, Donald Trump's a racist because he believes in borders and walls and deportation. He believes in legal immigration overpowering illegal immigration. He believes that people that come from other countries, they don't want to be legal because they don't care about this country. They only care about themselves. When I hear stories of Spanish colonies in Arizona and California, wanting segregation, they want white people out of their neighborhoods in my country. And I know there's white people, I watched the documentary where this white lady wanted this girl to the Spanish family to move out. She went to the she called in a judge order. She tried to sick the judge on them. They went through hearings over this, because everybody's house was white. Like Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. Everybody's house was white. Except she painted hers pink. She had a pink house. And there were white people. There's always that remnant of white people, if not a majority of white people, that said, I think the house is beautiful. I'm thinking about painting my house pink. But these white people, especially the family next door, they wanted this girl to be deported from the neighborhood because she decided to paint her house pink, and they felt that she did it in rebellion. But two wrongs don't make a right. You got Spanish people wanting to fight over businesses in neighborhoods in my country. They want to fight over who lives where. They're saying they want Spanish neighborhoods to be all Spanish. They're fighting for segregation. They're trying to practice, what's that word? Nationalism. Spanish nationalism. That's what you're trying to do. You got enough Mexicans in this nation trying to practice nationalism. Once they get money and they get settled into their new neighborhood and they paint their house and they get to do all these things that are different than what other Americans are doing, then they want a little argument and they're like, that's it, we want these white people out. You want them out of their own neighborhoods in their own country. What was the Native Americans going to do with 50 states? What were Hawaiians going to do? Now, according to the history of Hawaii, okay, they once were a beautiful place. you know. But they were pagan. And they did have their problems. They leave that out of the books. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the problems of their religion. I mean, they even have the altars still laying around where they practice sacrifice, where they sacrificed animals and maybe even humans on these sacrifices, on these altars for their religion, for their pagan religion. And who did these white people go after? They went after the Hawaiians and the Polynesians. They went after the Native Americans, and they went after the Africans. What do all these people have in common? Remember that? They taught us that in school, in kindergarten. Do like an Indian. And later on, someone said, man, that's the most racist thing ever. And I thought, yeah, that is kind of racist. Yeah, you know. I've never seen an Indian. I've seen Native Americans do shows and stuff. They don't, no, they don't use their hand. They actually sing, hold that note. They actually hold that note. They don't need their hand to do it. And they make these weird drum noises and stuff with all these different instruments that you can't figure out what the name is. You know. But who did they go after? They went after all these pagan people that were wearing the grass skirt. There wasn't that much difference between voodoo in Africa, okay, the Native American Indians that are today called Native Americans, and the Hawaiians. Okay, there wasn't that much difference. And all these people lost land and went through sabotage. Because the white man, being pro-Christian, coming from a Christian standpoint, felt that these people were pagan and dangerous. And today, DeRoy Cruz, that be me, I still feel that these beliefs are dangerous and pagan. Now, do I agree with slavery? No, and not just because I'm black, but because actually the Bible tells me so. I shouldn't believe in slavery. Okay? Also, you cannot convert anyone by taking them through slavery or taking their land away from them. But look at the Native Americans today. Where are they? They're up on a reservation somewhere doing the la 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 la. Half naked. Not so much grass skirts, but half naked. Okay? Not much different than what they used to be. While they complain about what they don't have. Again, when I look at any Native American man today, just like we recently had Columbus Day, and they attacked Columbus Day, and I spoke out against them just like I'm doing now. What was you going to do with 50 states? It's kind of like here in Pittsburgh. UPMC has the most hospitals. What was the Allegheny Health Network going to do with the entire Allegheny County? Most of the hospitals in Allegheny County are UPMC. And UPMC goes out. It goes out of Allegheny County. It goes into Armstrong. Goes into into the townships and even outside of Pittsburgh. Way out, way out. It's. I don't know. I think they're trying to make UPMC a state hospital. I think it goes out there. If I look it up on the internet, I'm probably going to find at least, I'm probably going to see a UPMC hospital in every city in the state of Pennsylvania. But how many hospitals belong to the Allegheny Network? And how much research and ability to spend money on prescriptions and medications? Now, I hate UPMC. I don't hate it, but I dislike UPMC. But I don't feel the UPMC needs to give back the land and everything that they bought out from the Allegheny Network, because the Allegheny Network would not be able to afford that land. They would not be able to expand themselves in such a fast period of time like UPMC. Neither can they afford to pay their employees as much money as UPMC is paying them, their employees. And I understand that. But it goes around in a circle because UPMC also charges their employees a lot of taxes and a lot of, they charge them for parking and stuff like that the other companies, the other hospitals don't do. They don't charge their people for parking. They don't charge their people. They don't put, they don't build stuff inside the hospital so that their employees are putting the money that they earn right back into the hospital. But just ask Donald Trump. It's called business. Just ask Donald. It's called business. You know what I'm saying? It's business. I don't have a problem with, them having to take care of their business in order to be in order to have the expansion that they have. That's the only way sometimes. I just don't like when it comes to my health. Like I just had the stupid UPMC plan. I don't like when it comes to my health. I can't breathe because of your need to expand and beat all the other hospitals at their own game. Okay? I can't breathe because you done found a way to push your health plan on me, and I can't escape your health plan. I have to take your health plan because I work in one of your, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I have, you know what I mean? And it's unfair. But, again, if they weren't unfair, what was the other hospitals going to do? What were they going to do? Because a lot of the property that UPMC bought, they bought because it was up for sale. They didn't steal it, but they didn't waste time. And they made an executive decision for the things that they did steal. It was a executive decision within the courts, because just like what was these Indians going to do, or these Native Americans, if you want to call it that, what were they going to do with 50 states? What is the Allegheny Network going to do with 400 cities and towns? What are they going to do? It's the same way with losing battles and wars at anything else. You know what I mean? Now, when you take my house and give it to somebody else, that's a need for civil war. When you take my business from me and make me have to go out and work, make my children have to go work some rinky-dink job because you took down my business and gave it to some foreigners to show your appreciation for foreign relations. That would cause somebody to become a skinhead. That would cause somebody to want to go and, you know, do a terrorist attack on a mosque or something. You treat your people like that. Okay? I mean, don't take from those that are doing good, those that are doing fine. Okay? Don't take from them. But again, black people want nationalism because they think that the majority of white people that ain't talking about it, they want nationalism. Black people want nationalism, and I'm going to tell you something. Like I told a police officer today, all black people ain't alike. There's various cultures of black people, various forms of attitude and politics and faith, you name it. All of us black people don't agree. If you think that we agree, just ask Donald Trump. He'll show you that we don't. We never did agree. Everybody's just mad because Donald Trump, as I said in a separate video, Donald Trump did his first rally and you looked at your wife and y'all didn't sleep in the same bed that night. Because now y'all realize how different you are, politically and spiritually. That's why people hate Donald Trump. Because when you thought there was peace, he showed you that peace was a lie. May the better man win. And I'm all for it. I understand, that we have to speak up. I understand that. We have to stand up and be counted, us that know better. Us that are awake. We have to stand up and be counted. It's not just about the Republican and Democratic Party, but if you could think spiritually for a moment. What kind of attitudes? What kind of attitude is qualified to be the model face of this country? The face that thinks everything is okay morally, spiritually, intellectually, physically, politically, everything's okay? That's retarded. Or a face that says we're all victims of a system, but we don't want to admit what that system is. That ain't helping either. Or capitalism, communism. Nationalism. Getting back to black people. Why is it wrong for a black man who is supposedly free? Jim Crow is over and the civil rights movement is over. I'm a free man, right? Why can't I vote for who I want to vote for? Why can't I be in a position of leadership on my job and try to be the best supervisor that they ever had? Why can't I try to make history for what I do and for what I practice? Why can't I rise above the ghetto and rise above the depression? But if I do, there's somebody that's trying to tear me down and bring me back down. There's somebody that wants to let me know I'm not squat. There's somebody that wants to fight me, that wants to hurt me, because he feels insecure about my security. What color is that man? You white man? When white people attack me politically, verbally, or racially, they come back tomorrow and actually apologize. When black people feel that you voted for the wrong person, or you voted period, or you're trying to be a good Christian and you know what I'm saying, you don't have any racial fears and insecurities and stereotypes and all like that. You don't want to let your voice be heard when they go to talking about the white man, when the white man just dropped off all that free food and said, hey, this is for you. He dropped off all that stuff so you can eat and it don't cost you nothing. But as soon as that white man turns his back, before he can even get out the door, you're talking about how stupid he is and how much of a slave you are. I really don't understand it. Nobody has to like you. Nobody has to smack it in their thick skull that they're not better than you, because they might just be better than you. If you came up in the hood and you was taught how to get out of the hood and you never left the hood, and whether I'm white or black, I left the hood, okay, because I see what's going on in the hood, because I'm awake, I'm not asleep. And I made better for myself and my family. Am I not better than you? I am better than you. I beat you. I won. I'm out. I'm free. I'm not a slave. I'm not a victim. I don't have to cry about slavery when slavery was supposed to be over a couple centuries ago. I don't have to cry and complain and nag and pick and you know what I mean? And I feel like, in closing with black folks, I feel like black folks are brainwashed. They're brainwashed to believe that they are victims on a seesaw. At one point you're a victim over here, but over here you're struggling that weight with arrogance, because you know you're getting away with a lot of stuff that the white man can't get away with. White man don't get to sit in a room and talk about black people all day when they sitting right across the table. But a black man can talk about white people while white people busy serving the food. Sir, would you like another cup of coffee, sir? Sir, would you like another glass of water, sir? Can I get you anything else, sir? Oh, yes, please. I'll have another cup of coffee if you don't mind. And get some coffee for him too. Please, thank you, ma'am. Now let's get back to talking about these white people. You know, even these white nationalists got enough decency not to go out on the street where they're not invited and say whatever come what may. But black folks will go to, even religious black folks like these so-called Hebrew Israelites will go to a street corner and they'll yell obscenities at white folks walking down the street minding their own business. But yet, you can always use that victimization excuse, slavery excuse, profiling excuse. Okay? You can always use some form of excuse of victimization that has no receipts, that has no proof, no document. You can always use that to justify your own racism, your own hate. But yet it doesn't stop with just white people. You don't want black people to be better than you. You don't want black people to do better than what you're doing. As much as you criticize white people, you'll go on the job and pretend you respect these white people. But then you'll do everything you can to pull that black man down. Or black woman for that matter. That's some more status quo that I'm getting really weary, overwhelmed with, sick of, ticked off about it. I've been thinking about it all week because I went through it this week. Sick of it. D-Roy Cruz, your Life Applications Officer. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe. And I'm pretty sure you'll learn something before I grow too many gray hairs. You'll learn something if you pay attention and take notes. God bless you. Have a great night.